of the president with that Section 89 report of the High Panel Judges, Sakina and Bongiwe.
Well, thank you so much, Samkele, and of course all of that activity taking place outside, and we've got guests out there, but also in here in studio with Bongiwe and I, and good afternoon to everybody watching right now, and we will be hosting and taking you through up until the end of today's SONA proceedings. But of course we're not alone, as you could hear the activity outside. We have with us in studio here the Minister of Employment and Labour, Mr. Thulas Nxesi. Minister, thanks so much for stopping by. So very often we talk about the Minister of Unemployment rather than the Minister of Employment, because we're struggling with this stubbornly high level of unemployment. So what is the plan?
No, thank you, Sakina. And I guess that the President will be reporting on those issues today. Some of the notable ones in terms of our strategies: we are coordinating the public employment programs together with the President, and I think you know that this has given us about 800,000 jobs, and also other departments are also supposed to come into the party in relation to those jobs. We are also having what we call the labor migration, the labor activation programs, where we are talking to a number of companies, talking to a number of NGOs who are training, but it's not just training. It's training plus putting those kids into the jobs. We've spent a lot on them, and we are also dealing with the issue of the labor migration, which is a very, very difficult issue in the country, where we are arguing that what we need to see, we have to put quotas on certain sectors, because there's a tendency by the employers not to prefer South African employees. They take the foreign workers, and the intention here is just to exploit them as cheap labor. These are all the issues which we are dealing with. We have what a temporary employment relief scheme, not the one where we're paying the workers, but this one we are dealing with. Firms in distress, where we help them for a period of 6 months, but they must open up all their books, and then we are able to do that through one of our entities called Productivity South Africa. And we think that we're doing enough. But the biggest one, Sakina, is if the economy is not growing, or if there is no investment, the economy is not going to grow. You're not going to create jobs. That's why the President has been leading on that. But in terms of the programs which we have put in place now, as government as a whole, I hope Minister Mamuluku Kubai might have said this thing. In terms of the economic recovery, we're emphasizing the infrastructure, we're emphasizing the issue of the energy and localization, and we think that those are big job creators. And at the level of the social compact, something very interesting, Sakina, I hear a lot of people in the media saying the social compact has failed because the President had given us 100 days. Remember that we are dealing with different social, or what I call stakeholders or social partners, who have different views on how you have to deal with this.
So 100 days was not enough?
Clearly it was not enough. But what I can tell you now, we have agreed on key strategic areas, all of us, labor, business and community, that we're going to be focusing on these areas. We've talked about energy, we've talked about infrastructure, we've talked about localization, we've talked about SMMEs. And remember that the SMMEs world over are the biggest job creators.
Minister, I'm going to ask you to please pause for us, because of course we have a full coverage here at the parliamentary precinct. So the guests are coming through thick and fast, and some of our reporters on the ground are getting in touch just to show us as they come through.